tones of the passage continued, right? If I would say that is the word C-O-N-T, right? I discuss some 4-5 tones, I get into the matter. Sometimes it happens with me. I feel, is it my plus point or my negative? I get delve into the matter. I probe into the matter. I try my best to make the student understand, and I want them to read my mind. I want the person that there shouldn't be any student who feels that I watched your video and I couldn't understand tone. No, I don't want that. And a teacher gets satisfaction by this only. This is job satisfaction, when the student says, yes ma'am, I watched the video of the tones and I understood all the tones. Everything is crystal clear. There's no doubt. This is what the teacher is paid, and this is what payment I want from you too. Yes, please do tell me where you get stuck, what I didn't understand or what I didn't explain. This was the first 5 tones I had taken in the last class. That is factual tone, which is based on facts. I had given a lot many synonyms for it. The reason being naturally that you are able to understand it thoroughly. The narrative tone, more of conversational style, and please note the synonyms. Examiner is going to just test your synonyms. It's just test of words. The descriptive tone, explanatory tone, and the sarcastic tone, indirect manner of making sarcasms on others. Taking up the next tone for today, that is ironical. As I was talking of ironical, what do you think opposite of that happens? It's based on the literary device irony. The example also I gave you, that the butter is as soft as marble, which is an ironical style of speaking something. Not with a purpose to hurt. Most important difference between sarcastic and ironic is, this is not hurting. It's not biting. It's not something you are actually applying a jam on something, and this jam is of more of sermonic nature. It is describing situations that are funny or strange because things happen in a way that seems to be opposite of what you had expected. What you expected and what actually happened, there is a difference in the two. That is called ironical. Right. So, this is the tone, that is next tone, that is sarcastic. They are very close. Sarcastic tone, ironical tone, satire. Satire is a humor which is an element attached to it. It's an artistic style in which you make fun of someone. It makes fun of people. So, actually if I say very close, sarcastic and satirical, but satire is making fun but not biting manner. This is making fun only. This is talking in a funny way, comment on someone, and that's purpose is something which is very close to things, and it takes things in a more different style of doing things. So, this is called ironical style of doing things. When we have things in a more blessed form, when we have this, if you can see this very clearly, we had more of a making fun of style, which is not there in this style, which is the other part, that is ironical. So, the L was missing, I add on to this. I had prepared, I told you a lot of pains I had taken to prepare the PPT. It was long because you know the lockdown is on, the corona pandemic spread everywhere. I'm very slow at typing, but still I knew my students and they were looking forward to it, and I can't leave my students in lurch. I told you my job satisfaction would be, you are satisfied with this window. So, your feedback will be utmost for me at this juncture. Take, my pains will not go waste, I'm sure of it. The next tone, as I was talking of, its purpose is to imitate people. Now, you're copying people. You've seen those allegories I had explained you. You imitate the things and you expose their stupidity and flaws. You tell what is the mistake that person is doing, and you purposely do that mistake. You know, mimicry of the teacher done very often in the class, that is more of satirical. Its purpose is making fun of the people by using more silly or exaggerated language. The language is what? Heightened form. It's a more hyperbolic manner of saying. Hyperbolic style. The language is hyperbolic, right? Argumentative is more of negative, but it's biased, something quarrelsome. You are, preparing the pros and cons and actions, but you're very disputive. You're attacking on the other person. It appears more of attacking on the other person. right? It is more in a negative shade of character. You're going against something, you're very biased in your attitude, you're very quarrelsome, please see the word, disputing and captious or contrary means this is the point, like we're talking of reservation policy and you just pour out your anger on it, you know, because maybe you, like me, belong to the general category and you're not able to bear the problems and the hardships of this, the problems that we face because of reservation policy. So you're wrangling and bickering. Please note the words pugnacious. You lose your temper. You're very antagonistic. See, we have in Greek language the word protagonist, that is the main character. Antagonist, that is the villain. You're belligerent and bellicose, you're very contentious, you form an opinion about something, we're very opinionated, you have a, please note the idiom, very important, bone of contention, the cause of fight or problem between two things, having a chip on one shoulder. I have linked synonyms, the tones, the idioms, the linkage words with it and trying to explain you in the best that I could do. I don't have passage to apply these labels there, but no problem. You are there to apply those labels and come up with your doubts related to it. Next tone is being very critical. I have done this in class, if you believe in the offline classes, the 5 C's, 5 D's, 5 E's, and my students speak like with a flow of vocabulary. Yes, this is a spontaneous overflow of powerful vocabulary. This spontaneous flow is what makes you very, very strong. It ends with a negative connotation. It's condemning, criticizing, chaffing. You know, chaffing word is linked with agriculture. When the farmer removes the cover of the grain, you know, wheat, it's got a cover, you remove that cover of the grain, that is chaff, the outer cover. That is chaffing. It is censorious. It's, so how would teacher remove the cover of the grain? How would the writer remove the cover of the grain? He would find faults in it, mistakes in it, and that way he is going to remove the cover of it. He is very carping, cynical, discriminating or derogatory. See the negative prefix de, finding faults, very severe and fussy, you know, petulant and choosy in manner. You know, many people are very fussy and choosy in their style. It's very chaffing, berating, cavilling or defamatory. You must have read various laws of defamation, right? The laws of defamation also tell you various things related to it. It's your style is very critical in manner. Usually you find it in the last 4 lines, but the acrimonious attitude of the writer is everywhere to be found. Attitude is very acrimonious. Right. And the next tone, that is analytical. Analyze means the way the pros and cons of an action, very important idiom. You stand to be both positive and negative in your connotation. At the end, you are very investigating, you are logical, you are diagnostic, you are inquiring into things, you weigh the pros and cons of the action, you see things in the more of a scenario where everything you analyze. अब देखिए analysis का मतलब ही क्या होता है? You find out, like you analyze your mock test, you try to find out where the mistakes are, what are the problems. You are not more, you know, outbursting attitude. You are not in a pugnacious style. You are in a style where you want people to see that these are the drawbacks, this is the situation and these are the problems and these are the solutions for the problems. So in a way it's a more, you know, sedative style. Why it's sedative? Because you're not losing your temper, you don't fly out of handle, you accept things in the right manner. So I do a quick revision of the 10 tones that I have taken for, and then I would turn to the next tones in the coming up class. The factual tone, yes, I hope you've not missed anything out of it. The narrative tone, descriptive tone, explanatory with both the things there, cause and effect, sarcastic tone, which is more of, you know, hurting the feelings or biting style of speaking. The next tone, that is ironical. Every time I cannot miss my spelling mistakes anywhere. Ironical, where you things are more to not a purpose of hurting, of course, but what you say is opposite of what it means. Satirical is more in a funny style of speaking, in a sarcasm. A student comes too late to the class and teacher says in sarcasm, "You're too early today." the sarcastic tone. Don't confuse them. Argumentative is more in a pugnacious style, quarrelsome style. Critical is more looking for picking holes and finding faults in things. You have a habit of picking holes. Analytical is you weigh the pros and cons of an action, you analyze things. This is very, very important types of tones, very important tones, especially analytical and ironical, which you can easily mark out in the passage very clearly. So I hope you've understood all of these tones, and in the next class that I would come up with the next tones of the passage, right? Please do write up all these tones thoroughly. Do come up with your doubts and things for it, and do not forget to like and subscribe the channel. Right, students? Thank you for today.